What's going on, guys? No Guys here. Welcome back to another video. There's going to be some live commentary going over my highlights. This is the 20k team I used this weekend league. It's actually more a 15k team. I'll explain in a second, but obviously don't include the chemistry styles. It's actually more of a 15k team, but players like Onyekuru's gone to Turkey, Hakimi's got upgraded, Odriozola's changed teams. So they were like 1k cards and they've gone up to 3k now. So in theory, it's actually a more close to a 15k team, but I'm going to call it 20k anyway. This is going to be the highlights of the weekend league. So I wanted to go 15-0. I know you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but it is possible to do. Realistically speaking, I was thinking 15-3 is worst case scenario and 15-1 is best case, because you're always going to lose a game here or there, give or take. I'd want to do this casually, because I'll be honest, I can get Elite 3 with this team, no problem. I did it with a 15k team a lot last year. And casually, I want to get Elite 3, because when you try hard, it's a different story. But when you're streaming and you're playing casually, to get Elite 3 is a better accomplishment. But as you can see, right away, I noticed that, I'm playing against, player of the month, Aubameyang, you're getting Eusebio on your team. And I realized this is when you can argue bronze benching or having a low rated squad makes no difference. So I'm going to give you some tips as well, which I think will help you. And you can see some gameplay, and you can I hope you can learn from what I'm doing, how I'm playing with the cheap team. But anyway, 15-3 is what I wanted to go to, because I think at the end of the day, if you can get 15 wins and 3 losses, that way you only need 8 wins and 4 losses to get to Elite 3, and from then. And obviously the games get harder much later on. But I found that immediately is that when you have a weaker team, you have to score open goals. As you can see that I had to score open goals. And I think the most important thing, if you have a cheap team or a weaker team, I know 99.99% you guys are not using a 20k team for obvious reasons, but even if you have like a million coin team, I think the key is to be more patient and be more conservative. Now I'm generally quite an aggressive player, so I try to play like this, complete amazing football, the way that I used to play football, really good, like tiki-taka attacking football. But I found that I was forced to play it, and I had to change the overload the ball side. Now I would say use overload the ball side. It's very, very important against a good team. As you can see, this is why fullbacks are so important, but I'll get into that in a second. Overload the ball side is so important, because against these players that are parking a bus, they're going to counter you down the middle most of the time. So it's important to play overload the ball side. And also, if you've got a cheap team, use fullback and centre backs. I know not everyone can afford Varane or Road to the Front or Militao, or let's say, for example, like Team of the Year Virgil van Dijk, even Virgil van Dijk 400k anyway. So try to use fullbacks and centre back. As you can see, some of these clips, the fullbacks will help me recover much quicker. This is why fullbacks and centre back are so important. So try to use overload the ball side, and if you are playing with a cheaper team, try to get the goal first. I think the most important thing is, like, for example, most of these games that I lost. So you're going to see in the bottom left my record. The first game that I lost, I was 2-2, and what happened was, when I was 2-2. The 90th minute, the game decided to go against me. Well, not what? Hang on, let me not say that, because people actually believe that's true. What I meant to say, there was a bug or there was an error in a game, and my player decided to pass to my opponent. And I don't know why that happened 90th minute, but basically he played a through ball. My player controlled it. As you can see, my team's missing, but yeah, my player controlled it, and then he passed my opponent and he scored. And that's when I realized, you need to get a goal first. Getting the first goal is so important, especially with the cheap team, especially against a better opponent. Because if your opponent has a good team and they're not the best of players and your team is inferior, there's a higher chance you can lose by they're locking out the game. And I'll be honest, using a cheap team, people still park the bus. As you can see, no one played attacking football. I was surprised to see that no one was playing attacking football. Everyone was parking a bus, and for example, as you can see, some of these chances I was missing, almost perfect chances. These are what I like to call perfect angles. Now, someone like Neymar or Ben Yedder in form, that would have gone in, but as you can see, these don't really go in. So the first thing I would say is use fullback and centre back. A second thing I would say, try to get the first goal. It's the most important thing. Try to dictate the game, because even against a 20k team, people are going to just park the bus against you. It's embarrassing now how people are doing it. It's honestly just a joke. But yeah, people are going to use 20 million, 30 million coin teams and park the bus against you. So also, I was going to say another thing is, try to put sniper chemistry style on your strikers. So Ben Yedder had a hunter on him. Now, I generally have a rule of thumb that I only play with players above 90 pace, 90 sprint speed in particular. But as you can see, a lot of chances being missed there. But this is why I advocate snipers. I had Morales on a hunter and Ben Yedder on a hunter, and then the third game in, I bought Ben Yedder for like 2k or something with a sniper. Ben Yedder is kind of the most expensive player in the team in theory, but the reason why I was like 2 or 3k or something, but the reason why I bought him with a sniper is that finishing is the most important thing with a cheap team. Now I found that since most players are going to park the bus, you don't really need, okay, now this is going to be a debatable one. I think pace is very important, but at the end of the day, finishing is more important. The key is to buy someone like Lucas Moura, or someone along those lines, someone who's really good, a really good player that's very good at, you know, got very good sprint speed and dribbling naturally, where you can apply like a Deadeye or a sniper to them. That's the key. But I had Ben Yedder, for example. He's a very good clinical finisher, 5-star weak foot. The problem was he was too slow, so I had to put Hunter on him. But when I put a Hunter on him, his finishing wasn't 99, neither was his composure, and I missed so many chances. Like, you're going to see some of these games, like, look, how do I get past someone playing drop back like this with the players that I have? You know, it was so hard to get past. I had to basically look for the cute pass, like for example like that. And that's why I think the first touch is so important. So try to get a first touch turn. So like, you know, pass the ball to a striker who's got like a sniper chemistry on him and do a fake shot into the space, or, you know, do some left stick dribbling and go into the opposite angle. Remember, near post is extremely OP, so try to do that more than not. So as you can see, some of these situations, I'll overplay it a little bit, but like here, for example, it's another person parking a bus against my team. This guy is such a good team. I remember, you know, inform Ben Yedder, team of the year De Jong, whatever. But like, as you can see, look, I had to overplay it, and then once I find the gap, see, I went the opposite way with Morales. See, most players would have cut inside there. What I did is I went on the outside, creating the angle. Like, even over here, you're going to see the same thing. Watch how I kind of overplay it. You see that? I wait for the perfect angle. Now, maybe sometimes you're going to have a situation where your opponent tackles you. The key thing is being unpredictable. And the reason I put that clip in is I want to show you have to change up each time. So that way I went on the outside. So again, I get into the same situation. Remember, I went on outside just a second ago. This time I get the ball with Yedder. Delaney, and I get a bit luckier. But as you can see, I changed up the way I went. The key thing is to be unpredictable, because when you have a cheap team, I find that most of the time you always try to pass to the best player on your team. So I think, generally speaking, try not to just pass to one player. Like, for example, you can see I use Ben Yedder most of the time, but as you can see, look here, like for example, a fake shot into the space, that's the key. But if you keep passing to your same player, like I realized as soon as I kept passing to Ben Yedder, my opponents kept reading me what I was doing, especially the higher end players. So what I used to do is I used to go back, switch the ball, like as you can see, especially someone's parking a bus, and then do an L1 trigger down the wing or LB trigger, and play a through ball down the wing, and then from then I used to like a fake shot, stop, then cut inside, or kind of go around. As you can see, at that time I switched it around. So that's the key of being unpredictable. Change it up each and every single time so you don't be repetitive. Here we're at 10-1 at this point, and as you can see, green timing shots are also very important. I try to green time most of my shots. Of course, they didn't all go in. I wouldn't bother learning green time shots if you don't know it already. But I think if you really want to take your finishing to the next level, I get really lucky. This is the only lucky goal I got this weekend. But you're going to see how I get robbed this game. So I get a penalty. This is when the game started lagging. As you see, you see a screen tear right about now. Just there, you saw a screen tear. Green time shot, corners, penalties. They're almost impossible to save when they're green timed. But watch this, for example. I scored a nonsense goal, which wasn't my fault because of player switching. Now watch this. Watch. I try to switch to my CDM, and watch. I change to my centre back and I run back. Watch. See that? You see that? And that's one thing I would say is 2 CDMs are so important. Try using my 4-2-3-1 first variation with long ball on my main channel, youtube.com/nil guides. Type in YouTube on YouTube 4-2-3-1 nil guides. You're gonna see how I use, like for example this one here. Like, can you believe this was a red card, and this was something I realized as well. Once you go down, and like for example this game had a red card, I knew it was over. I'll be honest, and the biggest thing is Ter Stegen is the best goalkeeper in the game. I mean, I have Areola, right? And after the most recent patch, Areola is just shocking. Like, he's letting these, okay, that's team of the year, De Jong. This guy had a complete mega squad, but this guy people were just shooting from anywhere. And that's why I don't recommend playing drop back with this team, because if you play drop back, you're going to give your opponent more space outside your box. What I see a lot of players do is they use like 2 depth drop back, but it's actually counterproductive, because you're not going to be facing many, get a bit lucky here, but it was too late. You're not going to be facing many players with a bad team. So you're going to be facing good teams, realistically, a couple of million coin teams. So it's kind of pointless playing drop back, because if someone's got Messi or something, they're going to do like a finesse shot outside the box, and it's basically GG for you. So don't play drop back, don't play 2 depth. Try to use balanced 3 depth. I think is kind of the key thing. Also being patient, recycling the pairs. You can see if there's nowhere to go, just be patient. Obviously dribbling here is kind of what, as you can see, over dribbling is more important, but try to be patient. We're 10-2 at the moment. We're not that far off. But again, we're going down the same route, through ball down the wing. Fast left attacking mid and right attacking mids are really key. Again, less stick dribbling, you know, trying to be precise, trying to wait for the opening. As you can see, being patient. There's not a pass, don't worry, don't panic. If your opponent's blocking a bus, just hold the ball, then pass around until you find a gap. For example, like here, I'm looking at Morales, I see Ben Yedder overlapping, and it's just, as you can see, just using decoy runs. Let your one player overlap and then kind of do a decoy run. So at 11 and 2 at the moment, same thing again, down the wing we go. Formation, so again, simple 1-2 back. What I'll do is I'll do a 1-2 with my left back, and then I'll either switch the ball or I'll pass the ball down the wing. So if you can't beat your opponent on using overload the ball side, try to go down the wing. As you can see, I want to be patient again. You're going to see I go up again. I'm looking for Morales here, and I can see him, and as you can see, do a fake shot into the space, and it's more about being unpredictable. That's what's going to take your level to it's going to take your gameplay to another level, is being unpredictable. We're coming close to the end now. This game into extra time, it was a joke. The game was lagging so bad. I bought the share on 700 coin super sub. But yeah, the game is so bad in terms of lag. And I think when you have lag, it's done. When you don't have a good team, it doesn't matter how well you play, you're going to struggle. And this is where I think the pay to win element really comes in. As you can see here, you know, overplaying it. As I said earlier on, take that first touch and go inwards. Yeah, so the most important thing is try to be very patient and try to like get the first goal. Be very smart. Try not to make a mistake, but also if it's lagging, try to be patient. Don't try to be too aggressive, and don't pass the ball around too much. I think if you pass the ball around, you're going to get pressed a lot more easier. As you can see here, being patient, looking for the perfect space. As you can see, being patient. Then as soon as I see a gap, I do a fake turn one way and I turn back inside. See, that's the key thing when you take away. Do a fake turn one way and cut inside. We're going to go into the last couple of clips now. I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I'll be streaming this on twitch.tv/NeilGuides next week, the 4 weekend league. I think we finished on 14 and on 2 in the end, which is not the best, but not the worst either. 14 and 2. Hopefully next week we can get 15 and 1. We'll see how that goes. But as you can see, simple fake shots. Get a bit unlucky here. Win the ball back, being persistent, being very slow, methodical, and then once I get that space, turn around like that, goal. Very easy. And this is the last one. This I want to show you how less stick dribbling, how OP it is. Look, so my opponent's got the ball with Ben Yedder, as you can see, and the way I defend is he misplaces the pass. I don't know why he did that, but I get the ball back with Odriozola. Now the first thing I look at when I have the play, I don't have an eye track, I want to get one eventually, but I get the ball back with Morales, and then Onyekuru, for example, over there, Gelson Martin. So I do 1-2 down the wing. That's the way I kind of break down my opponent. As you can see, my opponent's tracking the run. That's just more of a distraction. So sometimes I don't always pass the ball, like go inside like this, as you can see. But you see how my opponent is controlling the guy at the bottom right, and needs to switch the player at the top left. So the key thing is not to run in your opponent's half. Just hold the ball with your feet. Don't run. In the final third, just don't run. Just hold the ball. And I'm sure you'll find opportunity, because what happens is players, they panic a lot, and if you're ever in trouble, just go back. Especially if your opponent's parking the bus, just go back. So as you can see here, I wait for the perfect. I'm not running, I'm just being very methodical. Now when you see the striker of your choice, for example, I see Ben Yedder in striker now, on just out on the edge of the box, right? Now watch, I pass the ball to him. I don't go forward the first time. I do a little bit of a fake inwards, and then I go out again. You see? Left stick dribbling, look, this is why left stick dribbling is so important. Look, see, I see he's overcommitting. Go back inside again. Just keep doing this in the final third, and you'll beat your opponent like that. Just simple left stick dribbling, nothing too important, and it's simple. You don't have to green time that, but I did in that case. And that's the easiest way to score. But anyway, I just want to say a massive thank you very much for tuning in. This is the team again, as you can see. Got this cheap sub as well, like Atal, Teixeira, 700 coins each. But they're not the best of players, but they get the job done. I would recommend this team. I think if you're a gold 1 player, I would say give this team a go, and just to see where you finish. Sometimes with a cheaper team you play better, but it's just to prove that you can play with the cheap team. But anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. Take it easy. We'll hopefully get Elite 3 next week when we go properly. All the best boys, take it easy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace out.